Fine then, let us start with the training. Okay. Yesterday I talked about interfaces and I told you that in the last class, not yesterday, I told you that if your browser is Chrome, how you can dynamically open the browser. You can check the browser whether it is equal to Mozilla, Chrome or I, and correspondingly you can initialize the driver as well. Okay, and you can go to the respective website and interact with the web page. Okay, now how does the interaction with the web page work? Okay, that's what we need to learn right now. All right, fine. So out here, let me make a new project today. I'll make a new project known as day 4. Okay, and in day 4, let me add all the jar files of Selenium first. All right, and what I'll do is that I'll create a new class over here, or what I'll do is I'll copy the class from yesterday, which was launch browser, in this day 4. Okay, I've copied the file. You can simply control C, control V, you can copy paste the file, right? And if you look at day 4 launch browser.java, right? Out here you have this public static void main. Okay, and you have this browser Chrome, which I had mentioned yesterday, and based on the condition over here, the driver will get initialized and it will take you to gmail.com and print the title of the page. Now, what if I want to interact with the web page after this? How do I do that? Okay, how do I interact with the web page? Well, to understand that, just a minute. Right, let me go to the Gmail page. Just a minute. Look, you need to interact with the web page. Okay, to interact with the web page, you must be knowing about the page source and all those fundamentals. Okay, because Selenium works in the page source. If you right click on any page, you get the page source of that page. Alright, if you look at the page source, then page source is nothing but HTML code. Alright, and this page source helps us to identify the objects on the web page. You need to analyze this page source. Okay, this page source will remain same across different browsers. Look, the websites they open the same way across different browsers. This page source is actually the response from the server. Whether you open it in Mozilla for any website or Chrome or I, it doesn't matter, it will remain same. Okay, so you can actually investigate the browser in, like you can investigate one browser, the website in one browser, and you can probably use the automation code in the other browsers as well, because the page source remains the same, and based on this page source we identify the objects. Now this is a simple HTML page source. In HTML page source we have got tags and attributes. For example, this is the input tag, and this input tag has got various attributes associated with it. Okay, the attributes are like ID, name, class, type, value. Okay, these are known as the attributes, and input out here is known as the tag name. Okay, with a particular tag there are attributes. Okay, right. So with the help of tag and attributes, you go and identify the objects on the web page. For example, this is a div tag and it's got two attributes, class and role. Okay, right. So in the last class, I have told you that how you can launch the browser and all. If you have missed those classes, because some people just enroll right now, don't worry. I will give you the recordings of those classes. Okay, fine. Now, um, out here, okay, out here, you will have to learn a little bit about HTML as well if you want. Okay, you can just go to Google and type HTML tutorial and go to w3schools.com. Okay, over here you'll get various HTML tutorials and all, which you can just give 15-20 minutes. You can have a look at them. Okay, so now this is the page source. It's made in HTML language, and HTML language primarily contains tags and attributes. Okay. Now you don't need to identify, or you don't need to read the HTML page source like this. What you need to do is that there are plugins available in Firefox or Chrome or IE through which you can understand the HTML code. Okay. For example, in Firefox, there is a plugin known as Firebug. Okay. You go to Google and type Firebug Firefox. Okay, you will get the first link. Firebug is an add-on. Okay, it's an add-on on Mozilla. Okay, it's for identifying objects and identifying the page source. Okay, I'll tell you. Wait for some time. You can add it to Firefox. Make sure that you open this link in Firefox only. Okay, no other browser. All right, fine. And um, after you open this link, you will see this button add to Firefox through which you can add it to Firefox. If you are using an older version of Firefox, then probably you can scroll down and you can select, you can click on any Firebug over here and then you can select, see which add to Firefox button is enabled, you can add it. Once you add it, it might be that your Firefox will restart and you will see a Firebug icon on the top right side of the Firefox. You click on it, it will open up a window like this. Okay, in the HTML tab over here, you can see the HTML code, and there will be a arrow out here. Okay, you click on this, and then you move the mouse wherever on the page source. Suppose I move the mouse over this error. Be careful with old versions. You will get the HTML page source of that particular uh, element. Okay, so for example, this is a h2 tag. This element is inside the h2 tag, and inside this h2 tag it is written be careful with older versions. If I move my mouse over this version 2.0.19, okay, it will tell you that it's an anchor tag. Okay, a is known as anchor tag. It represents a link. This is the href attribute, title attribute, and the version is this. Okay, right? For example, if I go to the Gmail page, all right, and on the Gmail page, if you look at this email ID field, okay, this is the email ID field. This email ID field is basically an input tag. It's got an ID, it's got a value, it's got a name. Okay, there are various attributes associated with it. Right, now how do I use these tags and attributes to interact with this field? All right, now look, the thing is, In Selenium, first of all, in Selenium, everything is known as a web element. Don't confuse it with web element of QTP or UFT if you have studied that. Okay, in Selenium, everything is known as a web element. A button is a web element. A text field is a web element. A link is a web element. The text on out here is a web element. This image which is displayed on the top, Google image, is known as a web element. Alright, if you go to the documentation of Selenium, click on the download link, okay, the second tab, and this is the Java doc link. Okay, the documentation of Java. Fine. You click on this Java doc link, and in this Java doc, if you scroll down, you will have the WebDriver interface which I told you earlier. Okay, in this interface, there is a function known as find element. It goes and finds an element on the web page. Okay, since this function is inside this interface, it will be implemented by all the driver classes. Alright, because I told you whatever the other functions in the interface, they are present inside all the driver classes. Fine. So you have the Firefox driver, you have the Chrome driver, you have the iDriver. Okay, you are writing driver.get over here. After going to Gmail, you are printing the title. Now after that, you can write driver dot find element. Find an element on the web page. Now this function will go and find an element with certain criteria. That criteria is defined by the by class. Okay, there is a class by in Selenium API which has got mechanisms to locate the element within a document. Document means the page. Okay, you can have mechanisms in out here, okay, to locate the elements within the web page. Alright, so this is defined by the by class. There are various ways with which you can identify the elements on the web page. For example, a very simple example like link text or ID or name, and there are other things like XPath and all. We look at them. Okay, so driver.find element, then the by class defines by which criteria you want to find the element. Inside by class, if you look at the by class, every function is static in nature. You can call it directly. You can write by dot which criteria you want. You want the link text, you want the partial link text, ID or name, anything. Look, if you analyze the page source for Gmail, then this is the email field. It's an input tag with ID email. Okay, name as email, placeholder as email or phone. Okay, type as email. If an element has got an ID, it becomes really easy to identify that element because ID is supposed to be unique. Okay, generally on a web page, alright, the ID of an element is supposed to be unique. Alright, fine, there should not be two elements with the same ID. If they are there, then you need to talk to the developer of the web page and you need to tell him that there's something wrong. Also, the name. We are lucky in this case. I deliberately took this example. Okay, here we have got here we have got this input tag which has got ID as well as name. These two properties are supposed to be unique. Okay, so in this case, we have the ID of this username field. We can write over here by the ID, and you can give the ID as email. Driver.find element by the ID email. So what this will return you is that this will return you web element email field. I'll call it. Now what is this web element email field? Look, just import the web element class. It will find the element on the web page, and as per the documentation, it will return you the reference of web element. Web element is an interface which represents a generic HTML element. This interface represents, as I told you, a link is a web element, a button is a web element, everything is a web element. It's got functions which you can apply on any element. For example, click or get the text out of the element. Is the element displayed? Is it enabled? Is it selected in case if it's a radio button or a checkbox? Right. Send keys will be used to type into the element if you want to type. Okay. So you have got this command driver.find element which can find the element by any criteria, and it will return you the web element corresponding to that element. On that web element, you can fire any command. You can write email id field dot send keys, say hello. Send keys will actually type into the text field. Okay, now let me run this on Mozilla. I'll keep the browser name as Mozilla and I'll run it. Right, you see that? Okay, so what it does is that it goes on this web page and types in hello. Okay, right, now I can run the same code on Chrome. You can run the same code on Chrome. When you run this will open a Chrome browser. Go to Gmail and type in hello. Look, I analyzed the page source on Mozilla. I completely used Mozilla, and after using Mozilla, I actually executed the code on Chrome as well. It worked because the page source remains across same. It remains same across different browsers. You don't have to analyze different browsers separately. Generally, in Selenium, we analyze Mozilla and then make it work across different browsers. If you want to analyze the page source on Chrome as well, you can do it. You can right click on the element. For example, I want to analyze this next button. Okay, then I will right click on this next button and select inspect. When I select inspect, I will have this Chrome inspector opened up. It will highlight the button. It's got the ID next. It's got the name as sign in. Okay, you can also use this arrow in Chrome and move the mouse over elements to get the page source. Okay, right. So out here, the name of this element is sign in. So what you will do is that you will just go here and write web element button equals to driver dot find element. By which criteria? By the name, sign in, and will return you the web element corresponding to it. On the web element, I want to fire the function click. We want to click on the web element. Okay, so when I run this code, it will run on Chrome and it will try to click on the button as well. You see that? Okay, right, fine. So this is how it works. Now one thing, for interacting with one element on the web page, I am writing two lines of code. So instead of writing two lines of code, you can do away with the one line of code as well. You can simply write driver.find element dot send keys hello. Okay, instead of writing two lines of code every time, okay, you can simply write one line. First, this part will be executed. The web element would be formed. The execution starts from the left to the right side. Okay, so first driver.find element will be executed. The element will be extracted, and on that send keys hello, right, will be fired. Similarly for the button, the sign in button, and you can fire the function, click on it. So first this will be executed and then the click. So you don't need to write two lines to interact with the element. You can just write one line. So when you run this code, it will open Chrome and it will print in hello in the text field and click on the button next. So that's it. Right. The output is still the same, but we have done it in a different way. Anyone with any questions? This is what we'll be doing in complete Selenium. There are various locator strategies. I'll talk about them. Right. So now, okay, the question being asked is that what if the website is having CAPTCHA, how to read that? Look, you cannot automate CAPTCHA with Selenium. Or because CAPTCHAs are there to prevent automation tools. Okay, so you just cannot go ahead and you just cannot automate CAPTCHAs. If you know the logic through which the CAPTCHA is being generated and which number will be coming next, which probably developer can tell you, then you can do it. I hope everybody is knowing CAPTCHA, what CAPTCHA is. You guys know, right, what CAPTCHA is? Is there anybody who is not knowing? Please ask. Please tell me. There is nothing known as by, small by, Rama. It's only capital B by. There's not. I never saw a small by. It is capital B and by. Right. Now, thing is, I'll tell you. I told you that Selenium it works on the page source. How do you analyze the page source? In Firefox, you use Firebug. In Chrome, you have the Chrome Inspector. And in IE, if you open up IE, right, and hold on. In IE, if you want to investigate a web page, then you have IE Inspector. If you hit, hold on, my IE is hanged. Just 1 minute. Just a minute. Yeah, if you hit F12 of the keyboard, this window will come up. Right. Okay. F12 of the keyboard, and it will have the same thing. You click on this arrow, move the mouse, and you'll get the page source. But generally, if you analyze it in Mozilla and it works across all the other browsers. Okay. If you want to analyze the page source across different browsers, this is the way. All right. So, any questions from anybody? Any questions? Fine. Now, okay, there's a question being asked. I'll tell you how you can manage pop-ups, Vishwadit, in some time, in some days. Okay, I'll tell you. Mona, I think this is your first class, right? You missed the first three classes. Please look at the recordings. This will look simple to you then. Okay? Because you directly joined it in between. Alright, fine. Uh, I'll drop you an email after the class, Mona. I'll tell you what to do. Okay? So out here, if you just a minute, if you look at this, then we saw how to install Firebug in Firefox, how to analyze the page source in all the three browsers. Okay, and what is a tag and what is an attribute. Okay, in page source, everything is in tag and attribute. This is the anchor tag, this is the href attribute, and with this we identify the objects. Okay, I'll tell you about class attributes now. Look, ID and name are supposed to be unique for an element. If you look at the Gmail web page, then this is the email ID field. It's got ID, it's got name. Sometimes an attribute known as class is also there. For example, this is a division with this particular class. Okay, right. So out here, if you hold on, just a minute. If you go to this website, let's take if you go here, then if you go to the shopping section, out here you have got these prices and these buttons. Suppose if I analyze this button over here, buy now, it's a span with the class product buy now. Right. So out here, if you analyze these buttons, every button will be a span with the class product buy now. This button also has the span with the class product buy now. Okay, right. So you can use this class. This class remains same. Class is not unique. Generally, elements with the same look and feel have the same class. Don't think that the class is supposed to be unique. Okay, right. So you need to understand this, because when you have the by class, by dot, you have the class name, you can say class name criteria also to identify the element. Generally the class is not unique, and this mistake people do. Okay, they think that fine, I can use the class name for this button, but all the buttons, they have the same class name. What will happen in that case? I'll tell you, just be with me. Sometimes what happens is that the IDs are also not unique. This should not happen. Okay, the IDs are also not unique. Two elements on the page, they have the same ID. Look, what happens is when Selenium scans the page, I've drawn this diagram for you. First, when Selenium scans the page, it scans from the left to the right side like this, and it scrolls down. Hold on, let me make a new one. When Selenium scans the page, it scans the page like this. It goes from the left to the right side. And if there are two elements with the same ID, okay, right, then system will use, or Selenium will use the first one. It will ignore the second one. By default, it will use the first one. If you want to use the second one, there are ways to do that. Okay, I will talk about them later. But by default, if you look at driver.findElement command, right, it will find the first web element. Okay, right, it will find the first web element with this criteria and it will use it. To find the second one, how to do that, we'll look at it. Okay, so this is what class is. I told you about web element interface. This is a generic interface which represents the generic elements on a web page. And we wrote a basic Selenium script. Alright, what if two elements have the same ID? Selenium will use the first one. Okay, now every time you don't get an ID, for example, if you look at the Gmail example again, very simple. If you look at this text, one account, all of Google. If I analyze this text is a simple H1 tag. It's got no ID or it's got no name. So how do we go ahead and identify this text? This text over here was having an ID. It was having various attributes. This one is having nothing. So to identify this, we use XPaths. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the next class, what XPath is, what is the profiling concept, and I'll tell you the constructor and all. Okay, right. So anybody with any questions till now? Anyone with any questions? No questions? Right. We'll stop here. It's okay. I didn't do much today, but I don't want to confuse you as well. Alright. So please now do one thing. When you go back, do a simple exercise. No, you should not do API level testing. So any Sophia is the right tool.
Hi Ashish,
Okay.
can we use this class attribute in Selenium script? How we can use it?
I cannot
Can you show
hear you.
us?
Your voice is very low. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I'm saying this class attribute. How can we use it in
I'll tell
Selenium
you.
script?
I'll tell you later on. I'll tell you in coming
Okay.
classes. Okay, by day 7 you'll come to know. Okay.
Okay.
Now, about the recordings of the class, whatever we are doing.